Hi, welcome to Not Enough Time. I'm featuring watches I own and love, why I chose them, and what other options I considered. If you like this content, please hit like and subscribe to this channel. In this video, I'm focusing on my favorite dive watch, the Omega Seamaster Diver 300, but specifically this version in black, sedna gold and steel with the black rubber strap. I'll also show some of the other watches I considered, including the Rolex Submariner and other Omega Seamaster options, including the Heritage range, which I used to own, and I'll go through why I replaced it with this one. Lastly, I'll show a few other options from other brands I also liked when I was looking at options, including from Oris and also from Longines. Back to this watch. I see a lot of content on the Omega Seamaster Diver 300, so the range certainly needs no introduction. But I see very little content on this version, which for me is the absolute standout. I love the sedna gold. It's tasteful, it doesn't make this watch gaudy or a bling watch, but it does elevate it and makes it a little bit more dressy. I feel if you only own one watch and want something versatile that's good for both daytimes and evenings, you can take to the beach, have a swim, but also wear to work, that's this watch. It's well finished and durable in a very striking ceramic and sedna gold bezel, and has a nice textured ceramic dial which plays with the light, and it's two-tone but subtly two-tone with the brushed and polished stainless steel case and lugs. The diameter is 42mm and it's 49mm lug to lug. Wears very nicely on the wrist. Personally, I'm starting to have a real preference for rubber straps, particularly on dive watches. It feels authentic for a dive watch. And I also think it gets just the right balance overall between being something sporty and also dressy. And unlike a steel bracelet, it's durable. It doesn't quickly mark up with scratches. On the dial, I like the date in the 6 o'clock position, which I feel provides more symmetry overall than at 3 o'clock. The watch comes with a high quality Omega 8800 movement, which is META certified, guaranteeing the Swiss industry's highest standard of precision. The only thing which is I'm not as happy about is that it's only a 55-hour power reserve. That's okay, though I'd like to see that extended in future to 72 hours, which I really feel is the new standard. But honestly, I love this watch. It is one of my favorites, and I can wear it for weeks at a time. In fact, I have to force myself to rotate it with others for variety. But if I ever reduce down to only owning 2 or 3 watches, this would certainly be one of those. And if you're looking to only own and wear one watch for all occasions, I personally feel this watch in this combination is a really great choice. Okay, so what else did I consider? Well, I've looked across Omega's Seamaster range, and for me, the Seamaster range is Omega's strongest, followed by the Speedmaster. However, personally, I do not like Omega steel bracelets, with really no exception. I'm not personally a fan of any of the Omega Seamasters in steel bracelets, but again, I do think they work really well with the rubber strap. So, perhaps no surprise, my second favorite is also a Seamaster with a rubber strap, but it's this one in green, which I think is lovely. For me, it's much nicer in green than it is in blue. These rubber straps really remind me a little bit, or more than a little bit if I'm honest, of the Rolex Oyster Flex bracelet. And there's also a lovely chronograph version of this Omega Seamaster watch, which I was also tempted by. And I kind of think this Seamaster, not the Speedmaster, is the best substitute for the Rolex Daytona on the market. It's very similar and at a much lower price, and also instant availability. Okay, it's not quite as exotic as the beautiful Daytona, and the Rolex Oyster Flex strap is vastly superior. and you enjoy this also on the Rolex Yachtmaster that you can see here. Again, a very beautiful watch. But the reality is you can own the Omega Seamaster, which is also a beautiful watch, at 1/3 of the price brand new, or 1/6 of the price when you compare their second-hand market rates. And you can enjoy it with far, far less anxiety of, sadly, the risk of being mugged, held up at knife point. Similarly, back to divers' watches, obviously, the Rolex Submariner is a true icon. I do like it, yes, of course. But I do also feel it's kind of sadly become a little bit overexposed and also a little bit too conservative. It's a safe, very classic choice, but there's just a little bit too many of them around. And again, I kind of do have a preference for generally, going for, either limited edition releases or sometimes the less, obvious choices. I'd wear a Submariner, I do like them, but I'd probably only do that at home. I love the Hulk. I also like, and I was generally tempted and considering the blue dial in two-tone, but not enough, as I kind of also knew, when am I gonna wear that or feel comfortable wearing that out. Lastly, this isn't my first Omega Seamaster, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video. I used to in fact own this heritage Omega Seamaster 300, and originally, why I chose that is I really did fall for the vintage charm and the domed dial. I really do like that look and that throwback. But if I'm honest, I made a mistake. This is the one watch I've bought where I was a little too hasty, and I don't think I took the time to really consider options, know enough about what was out there across a number of different brands, and also really truly understand what I liked personally. And I didn't like this bracelet. I did find the watch was very subtle. It looked very nice, very close up, but it kind of lacked presence on my wrist. I wasn't again looking for something bling, but I wanted something that I could look at and personally enjoy and admire. So I kind of found I never wore it compared to other watches in my collection, which always jumped out at me far more. And I started kind of feeling bad, so I tried to change it up, and I paired it with different straps, and I'll show you some of them here as I went through many different straps, from NATO straps to different leather colored straps. And I think personally I liked it most in the green, or perhaps even the orange, and it was fun trying to change it up, and I was tempted to keep it, but I in the end tried also a black rubber strap, and I kind of thought, okay, I've probably spent a lot now on straps which I hope I can reuse another watch, but I felt this is just not for me, so I part exchanged it actually where I originally bought it from for this watch, the one I'm showing today. And a big thanks here to Goldsmiths, where I did the original purchase and the exchange, and I've always found their level of service excellent. And before I close, I did consider other dive watches from other brands. When I made this change, I wanted to make sure I'd fully researched and would get it right. Particular standouts for me were from Oris and also from Longines. I do and have featured videos also from Grand Seiko and also from Glashütte Original separately, but I don't feel dive watches are their strongest suit. But the Oris and the Longines were definitely interesting choices. But as I say, I kind of felt I did my research. I knew which was the watch for me, and coming back to this watch, I really do love it. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching Not Enough Time, and I hope this shorter video acknowledged that. Thank you.